Hi friends, if you are someone looking to invest in mutual funds, in this video we will look at the process to do the same. Mutual funds and their basics I have already covered in my previous videos, but I will still give you a quick primer. We as small investors get together and give our money to a fund house who have experts managing a portfolio, and this portfolio in a way is called a mutual fund. Mutual fund investments have been extremely popular in India, and to invest in mutual funds, one very good way of doing it is that you get an account in an app which can help you do it. And today I am doing this process on the Dhan app. I have already made my account and I have logged into my account over here. Account creation is fairly simple. If I want to invest in mutual funds, I go through a process called KYC where I use my Aadhaar card, and then I link my bank account by giving details of my bank account, and after verification the account is open generally within 1 or 2 days. Once the account is open, you can see after I log into the account over here, I am on the Dhan app and I have clicked on the home button over here. On the home button itself, mutual funds is a prominent option where I can now go and look at mutual fund options which I can purchase. I will click on the mutual fund option over here to go within the mutual fund section. As you can see, this app allows me to do stock trading, options trading, buy ETFs, commodities, futures. So there are a lot of options over here. Mutual funds is a dedicated option and I can go to that screen. When I look at my portfolio here, again, I can look all of them together, or I can look at stocks, mutual funds and ETFs separately as well. So I will now go ahead and click mutual funds over here. Once I'm in the mutual funds section, I have already purchased one mutual fund before, so that does show up over here. But if I have to make a selection, I can do two things. One, I can search for any mutual fund over here. So if I already know the name from my financial advisor and if I have already researched it and decided to buy it, I can simply search the name over here, or I can look at one of the research options. So I can just scroll down over here. There are direct mutual funds options over here which I want to explain to you, but the curated lists are over here: liquid funds, large caps, invest with just 500 rupees, or funds which have done well. Those are here. I can also look at different categories of funds. I can look at equity funds, tax saver funds, hybrid funds. There will be debt funds ahead. So there are multiple such options available. If I want to select via a particular AMC, we could look at that also. And NFO are new funds which are just launching. That option also shows up over here. I could have bookmarked funds and they will show up over here in the bookmark section. For now, I am thinking I will just go and look at a plain Jane equity fund. So I'm going to click on the equity option, and within equity I have large caps, mid caps, small caps, or large and mid caps together as options. So I'm going to click on large and mid caps together as options. Now these funds have been organized as per their returns from what it appears. So the 3-year return numbers are showing over here. And with mutual funds, you should always know that, and any equity for that matter, that past performance is not an indicator of future performance. And of course, I am not recommending you to buy mutual funds or which mutual funds to buy. I am only teaching you how mutual funds are purchased. That said, guys, what I'm going to do is, let's select this first fund over here, and I'm randomly selecting one right now to show you how to invest in a mutual fund. Now, once I click this button, I am on the page where I can see all the details about this mutual fund. And right up here is a graph of showing this mutual fund's performance compared to Nifty 50, which may or may not always be a good comparison because this is a large and mid cap fund. So I would assume this is more volatile than just Nifty 50 by itself. But that aside, you can work with your financial planner or do your own research to find out what really is a good fund to buy. But at least that graph is there. There are independent agencies like Morningstar and Value Research which give ratings to funds. So both of them have given this fund a full 5-star, which adds credibility to this fund. The NAV in a way the price at which the fund is currently valued, and over time this price changes as per whatever the market is. So basically the cost at which per unit is being bought by us is denoted by NAV, which is the net asset value of this fund. So that metric is shown up front here, and it shows the date on which it was updated. Typically after a trading session ends in the market, by evening this amount is updated. So the stock market changes its price on a minute by minute basis, but mutual funds publish their NAV after the market closes. And there are something called cutoff times for investing in mutual funds. So say if the date today is 21st October and I am seeing that the market has fallen a little today morning and I want to invest today, in which case I have to invest the money before the cutoff time, else I will not get today's price, I will probably get tomorrow's price. So if you are someone trying to time the mutual fund purchase on a day when the market is down, remember that there is something called a cutoff time. I'll have to go back and check what the cutoff times for Dhan and these mutual funds are, but typically I keep the rule that to make my investments before noon, and 12:30 I think is the cutoff time. I will let you know the cutoff times. They could change as well by giving you a link in description. I find it amusing, and I find it of course a very good thing by the folks over at Dhan. Don't get excited. Past performance is not a guarantee of future returns. I love it that this is stated upfront. This is of course a risk investment, investing in equity and mutual funds and stocks and similar instruments. There are various fund performance visualizations over here, but I'm going to jump straight to the scheme snapshot because that is important before I make an investment. Now different schemes have different amounts of lump sum and SIP amounts that they accept. Now if you want to make a lump sum investment, this fund allows you to invest with just 500 rupees. So I can now invest in this fund with just 500 rupees one-time investment. I have seen funds which even demand a minimum of 5,000 rupees. And if you're doing a SIP in this fund, the monthly or whatever cadence of SIP you set could be again as low as 500 rupees. The AUM of the fund is seen here, so they are managing 6,500 crores over here. The scheme is open-ended, which means we can invest and leave anytime. The expense ratio is 0.51%, and this is because this is a direct fund, as I mentioned. See, there are two types of mutual funds. There are direct funds and there are regular funds. Every scheme exists in both these types. Now what happens is direct funds means that you are directly buying it from the company and no agent margin or commission is being added. So Dhan is allowing us to buy direct funds, which believe me, a lot of other financial advisors or even financial institutions do not offer. And this means that the cost at which we get this fund is lesser, the expense ratio is lesser. Now the returns graph for the fund can differ because of the expense, because no matter where the market goes, the fund will take its expense ratio of 0.51%, and if the same fund was in a regular mode, you would be paying more expense ratio. So I like the fact that I'm buying direct funds over here. I really recommend everyone, if you know what fund you want to buy, you should just go and buy a direct fund. There is no lock-in period over here, which is good to know. And there is an exit load of 1% if redeemed within 1 year, which means that if I sell my units and I have been holding them for less than 1 year, I will pay a 1% exit load on my total sale amount for selling it within a year. So that is the fund terms. Fund wants you to keep money predictably for some amount of time. It is not locked in, but there is sort of a exit load, or you could say a penalty for removing it early. Now that's something you need to consider when investing in equity mutual funds. A lot of them have an exit load which is at the 1 year mark. How the exit load would work in case of SIP and how redemptions work, of course I have covered in other videos. You would like that. There is a riskometer over here, and of course it's a equity investment with large and mid caps both, so I am not surprised that the riskometer says that this is very high risk. Of course, equity is a matter of risk. We should all know that. The fund manager details are here as well in case you want to research it. This is the super team. This is the team which researches and chooses what this fund is buying, not buying. One more thing is to look at the holdings. What is it that this fund is holding is available right here for us to research in case that's something we want to see. Now I'm going to go ahead and make the investment, which is what we are here to learn, by clicking this Invest Now button. I have the SIP option here. I have explained SIP and SIP mandates in a separate video. Do check it out. For now, today we are doing a one-time investment of 2,500 rupees. Let me see if I can make it 2,400 rupees. So I will make a one-time investment of 2,400 rupees over here and click Invest Now. Now this is a small amount and I can do this investment via UPI app as well, but net banking also works. First up, I need to do a OTP verification to get this transaction going. So let me just enter the OTP I have received on my phone. I have entered the OTP and now I am on the payment screen. First option is UPI, where I can enter the UPI handle related to my bank account which is linked with Dhan, or I can go and do a net banking transfer from the same account. Now remember one thing, when you make an account on Dhan or any other such platform, you give your PAN card as a part of this process and you link a bank account which you own. So this account is personal to you with your bank and your PAN linked with this account. So all payments have to go from your account exclusively. You cannot use someone else's account to do this. If you want someone else in your family to make an investment, help them open an account for themselves. So always remember that all the money that you put in this account and remove from this account will be from your own bank. There is a concept of nominee which I have explained in a different video. You should also understand that, and you should set a nominee when you set up your account. But for now, let's select UPI and proceed with the investment into this mutual fund. I'm going to make an investment of 2,400 rupees here. On this note, folks, if you're liking the video so far, please do click a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, do ask in comments. I can see the request for this funds on my UPI app and I have cleared this payment, and as you can see, before even my app could give me a confirmation, the Dhan screen already says order placed, and this order will now go to the order queue, and the NAV I hope will be today's because it's well before cutoff time, and I should get the units in 2 working days in my account and it should start reflecting. For now, if I just click go to home, over here I can again see orders in progress, and over here you can see this order is now in progress. So that's how you buy mutual funds on Dhan. If I go to my mutual fund tab and look at all over here, you can look at all of my past attempts. I can also go and look at my portfolio by just clicking the back button, and within mutual fund portfolio I can just click on this box and it shows me my current view. It shows me the funds that I currently own and I can review them right here. So friends, I hope this was an educational video for you on how to invest in mutual funds. If you have any questions, I'm waiting for you in the comments box.